Gender Inequality Index, this actually started, first time was released in 1990. Sorry, 2010, along with Multidimensional Poverty Index released by UNDP itself. Okay. So this actually doesn't measure progress or doesn't measure the progress made. It actually measures inequality that exists between men and women. So the parameters and whatever it is being measured, it is actually different. Okay. So the parameters measured or the dimensions are actually different. Very important thing, reproductive health. Then empowerment. Thing measured is first one, reproductive health. Reproductive health of women is more of concern than men. What is the empowerment of women? Social empowerment, economic empowerment, political empowerment. These are all important. And this is being measured in this Gender Inequality Index. We'll just look at the, we'll more delve into the particular indicators, then we'll understand. Labor market. What is the role of women in labor market? How many women are employed? How many women are employable? This is a factor. How many women are actually in the labor force? This is important. Okay. And this also, here also inequality is measured. Just like Gini coefficient, inequality is measured. That is, 0 means there is zero inequality, and 1 means there is poor equality. That is, there is grave inequality. Again, inequality is measured. Gender Inequality Index rising means there is a grave inequality happening. Okay. So this is how Gender Inequality Index is measured in the context of reproductive health. First one, maternal mortality ratio, adolescent birth rate. What is MMR? What is MMR? Maternal mortality ratio. Very, very important. What is maternal mortality ratio? The definitions of these measures should be known. I have taught this, if I remember correctly, in economic geography. Very, very important. So MMR means number of deaths of mothers per 100,000 live births. How many women are actually dying as mothers when as a percentage of 100,000 live births? Per 1 lakh births, how many women are actually dying in delivery? This is maternal mortality rate. When they are giving birth, how many mothers are dying? This is MMR. This is being measured. This is an indicator of reproductive health. This is an indicator of reproductive health. Then adolescent birth rate. What is the birth rate among adolescent women, 15 to 19 years of age? What is the birth rate of children from women of 15 to 19 years of age? 15 to 19 years of age, that is adolescent age. That means early childbearing age. That should be actually low. Adolescent birth rate means it is not the birth rate of adolescents. Obviously not. It is the number of children being bared by women of age of 15 to 19. That is an early childbearing age. A very great impact on health, economic status, social status. Okay, this is being measured. So this is the female reproductive health index. The next one, female and male population with at least secondary education. Female and male population with at least secondary education. What is the percentage of male population in comparison to, female population in comparison to male population who have at least secondary education? Then political empowerment. We are talking about political empowerment. Parliamentary seats. Read this in context of reservation. Reservation for women have been increased or have been introduced in parliament. 1/3 of Lok Sabha seats should be reserved for women. Look at this in the context of reservation. Connect this. Gender Inequality Index is actually measuring the political empowerment of women. What is the share of females as a proportion of males who have parliamentary seats? Understand? So that is actually measuring what? Male empowerment and female empowerment. Then what? Labor force participation rate. Labor force participation rate. What do you mean by labor force participation rate? Please tell me what is labor force participation rate. I have taken this in economic geography class. I remember correctly. Is labor force participation and employment rate the same? So labor force
Is
participation. Sorry, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, is it the current population of workforce or young people versus the population that is actually employed or something?
Yeah, labor force participation. Labor force means the current population, the share of population that is actually working or is employable. It is not just who are employed. People who are seeking jobs, they are also in the labor force. They are not employed for sure, but they are also in the labor force. They have potential labor ability. Okay, so female labor force participation rates means what is the percentage of women who are actually in the labor force? Understand? Okay, so this actually measures the share of females in labor force, political empowerment, educational empowerment, that is social empowerment, and also health. What health indicator? And this is actually measured using, and this actually leads to the release of gender inequality index. So gender inequality index is used based on these parameters. One thing I have to suggest on this is may not these all these things may not be useful for you in a particular question. For example, UPSC may not ask explain the parameters of gender inequality index and extrapolate or explain or elaborate or something. No, UPSC need not ask. But UPSC can ask in economics, economic development, or in the context of society. What? About female empowerment, vulnerable section. Women are vulnerable sections. So they can ask about that. But when explaining that answer, you can actually use these parameters. You can even mention about gender inequality index. There is no necessity that UPSC would definitely ask about gender inequality index. But you can use these parameters in the context of gender based questions or women vulnerable section questions. Hope you got my point. If you are not getting anything, just think about gender inequality index. Okay, these are the parameters. I will be structuring my answer based on these parameters. Just structure your answer based on these parameters. That is smart answering. Hope you're getting my point. India's status is actually 122nd of 190 countries, and India has a score of 0.490 in 2021. So almost half. 0.5 is there, 0 to 1. 1 is perfect inequality, and 0 is fair equality. So India has a score of 0.49, but this has actually improved over the years. Don't look at these ranks. These ranks are actually based on very small differences in points. But India has all the years actually improved in gender inequality since 2010. But it doesn't mean that it is actually perfect. There is still a long way to go, but India has actually improved over the years.